Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode. If you have not noticed, the podcast itself has been rebranded and is now titled Career Dev. And I'm super excited. This will be a lot easier for you to remember, for me to remember. Through the Lens of Learning, a career development series is a mouthful for sure. So, welcome to the rebrand, and also the new or artistry image for the podcast cover. And so today I want to continue the ABCs of career development. And as part of that, the letter today is M, and I want to talk about marketing yourself. And hopefully you did not hear that and automatically cringe, because I would tell you me 15, 20 years ago would have done exactly that and been worried about listening to the rest of this podcast episode, because who am I to market myself? Who am I? Question mark. For other people to know me. And what is my brand? Do I have a brand? I'm just like everybody else, like starting to have those negative thoughts creep in of how am I unique and how do I set myself apart? And I want to tell you, especially if you're listening and you are me from 15, 20 years ago, you are unique. You have skills, experience, strengths that set you apart from others. And sometimes it's really hard for us to see because we're so close to everything that we do and that we touch. And sometimes we need to reach out and confirm that or get that validation from others. One exercise I had done quite a while ago is I had a coach ask me to reach out to 3 to 4 people. And I could text them, I could call them, email them, whatever that was. 3 to 4 people I knew would respond, and ask them for 3 words that they would use to describe me, and 3 words that they felt that I was a expert in or had a great skill set in, so I could get some insight into who I was. And what was fascinating was the individuals that responded, a lot of them aligned. So I was giving off that vibe. People were seeing what I was good at and what my skills, my experience, my strengths lent to. And that helped me to get more focused, because sometimes we're like, well, I'm good at a lot of things, but not like super good at any one little thing or something like that. So that can help you. And if those individuals respond and they're kind of varied all over the place, is that an opportunity for you to hone in and see, hey, maybe I should start to get a little hyper-focused in one specific area or target one thing? Or maybe those lend to the bigger picture of what's a category of something that you're good at versus like specific things within that category, so that you can have that overarching topic that you excel at. And as far as marketing yourself, I just want to tell you, you are worth it. You add value to this earth, and you can help other people. And sometimes you think that you're not very far ahead of others, but typically it's 1 to 2 steps ahead is all you need to be able to support the people that are coming up behind you in that specific area. And so I want you to believe in yourself, because I believe in you. And another coach had said, borrow my belief until you can grow your own belief in yourself. And think about, what are ways that you can market yourself? Now, a long time ago, I would have thought marketing myself, like I have to come out and be like, I'm Tracy Schroyer, and I am really good at XYZ. Like, I have to be very literal and specific about what it is, and that's not it at all. There are small, simple ways that you can market yourself where you're not feeling any kind of salesy. You're not feeling like you're a literal marketing billboard coming out and sharing that with people. but you're sharing that knowledge and that expertise with individuals, and it doesn't come off as feeling icky. And so some of the ways, especially that I share with my clients on how to do this, is LinkedIn. So if you're if you're listening, you're probably a business professional or a student looking to get into business, and or you're already in some kind of industry related to a business, or an entrepreneur. And there are subtle, easy ways to market yourself. And one is sharing your knowledge, which I know we already covered for K, knowledge sharing in the ABCs of career development. And you can go in to, whether it's LinkedIn, it's Facebook, it's Instagram, it's TikTok, like whatever social media platform that you might be on, and share your knowledge. You can share a sentence or two about something that you read, or, and please quote it, professor coming out there, something that you read, or share an article, and don't just share it with your thoughts and a couple lines of what reflection you had from reading that or from listening to a video. Share the information that you have, which makes it feel not so much that you're putting yourself out there and talking about you, but it's sharing what you are learning, what you know, with other people and helping them. So if we look at it more in the lens of helping somebody else versus marketing ourselves, sometimes it can feel less daunting. The other thing that you can do to market yourself is not only sharing on social media, but thinking about what opportunities are there, whether it's virtual or in person, to share your knowledge and insights with other people. This can be talking at, maybe doing a webinar or being a guest on a podcast or presenting at a conference. Like, there are so many opportunities. And what is challenging for me is I hear when I recommend this to people, they're like, oh, I can't do that. That's too hard. Like, and I don't have a presentation ready, or I don't know what to talk about. Talk to other people who have presented, who have done things, or listen to some podcast episodes of people who have talked, and find them on LinkedIn, find them on Instagram, whatever that is. Learn more about them and start to piece together what are some topics that you could talk about. From the exercise I had done before about the 3 or 4 people, that what are the topics that you're really good at, that you know a lot about. Being able to take a couple nuggets from that. You could say, here's 3 tips I have for time management, because that's one of my topics, and pick 3 that I have. And you don't have to validate these are the top 3 among all these different professionals. It's your top 3. What have worked best for you, for the people around you, all of that kind of thing. And the other thing I want to share too is when you pitch yourself to be at a conference, or you pitch yourself to lead a webinar, you don't have to have it all buttoned up and ready to go when you pitch yourself. I think that is the misconception that people have, especially about conferences and applying to be in a conference. So I had applied, I submitted 2 RFP, request for paper, or for request for proposal, to present at a conference next year. And when I filled out, sometimes you just need to go and see the application itself and realize that it's not that big, hairy, scary thing that you might have thought it was. And I've encouraged other people to submit to present at conferences, and they realize that it's not that big, hairy, scary thing the application is. And so I put together some ideas of, here's the proposal for what I'd like to present on, kind of built my outline. I don't have the presentation built. And another thing is if I don't get accepted for one or both of those presentation sessions, then you know what? I don't have to build it. I don't have to build out the full deck, the activities, all of that kind of thing that I might have in my session. What I may do if I don't get accepted is I go back and I look at those proposals and I see, I wonder if there's a reason, or maybe they gave me a reason why it wasn't accepted. Maybe it was too many related to that same topic. So mine is related to AI in the workplace, and maybe they had too many and they had to choose. So why, when I look at mine, maybe it wasn't setting itself apart for some reason. It was too similar to others. I could start to dissect it a little bit more and kind of think through, why was this not selected, in the lens of, I want to tweak it so that I could submit it somewhere else and hopefully be accepted. The other thing that you can do is, if you don't get accepted, you don't get accepted and you just leave it. And maybe you don't want to do it. And sometimes it's been a relief to me where I had submitted a proposal and I got a note back that said, we haven't accepted you. I had a conference I submitted 4 in the last 6 months. I got a note back that I wasn't accepted. And you know what? For me, it was almost a relief. Because I looked back at the proposals, and for one of them, I was like, oh, like, I can't believe I even wrote this and, like, put this together, and, like, I don't know that I even want to do this. But the other thing is when you do get accepted, then you start to dive in. You build your presentation. You build, if you have activities or incorporate videos or whatever that is, then you take that leap. So you put together enough of the framework and the description and whatever other requirements is in the presentation application, but you don't have to build everything out. So this is a great way to market yourself, is the presentation, request for proposals. And what you can typically do is, based on the industry that you're in, look up different industry associations and see what conferences they have and what either virtual or in-person opportunities that they have. A lot of times conferences have where if you speak, you get your conference registration waived. So you don't have to pay for that. You just have to pay hotel, airfare, that kind of thing. Some conferences also have where you can request, if they have a virtual and an in-person and you're not able to travel or you can't afford that travel piece, then you could say, I just want to submit to do this virtually. Others may not. But these are great opportunities for you to get out there and think about it. If you're 1 or 2 steps ahead of other people, there's a lot of people out there that want and crave the knowledge, the experience, the lessons that you've learned, and that's an opportunity for you to do that. The other thing that you can do to help with marketing yourself is, and you have to be a little cautious of this, and it depends on you and how you feel about this, but thinking about, in addition to adding value, how can you be a little bit vulnerable and sharing a little bit more about yourself, what your interests are, things not even about the topic that you are focused on. So I'll give you an example for me. Every once in a while on LinkedIn, I'll share something about my dogs, or I'll share something about my experience being laid off. And like a couple days ago, I shared a picture from a year ago of me at a shopping cart in Walmart, sharing about my experience of not knowing what to do after I got laid off. So I went to Walmart twice in 1 week and just walked around and shopped because I think I was still in quite a bit of shock. And I've gotten more comments, direct messages, mentions about that than I have some other posts. So being open to the potential to be vulnerable can help you to sometimes unintentionally market yourself. But when we think about, if we think about marketing ourselves, it's also thinking about how are we making ourselves memorable to other people, and they connect us with whatever the area of expertise is that we have. So in that case, being vulnerable about layoffs, I talk a lot about layoffs. I talk a lot about organizational change, and that helps to connect with that as well. Or people might connect with you and say, oh my gosh, I have Australian Shepherds too, and remember you and pay attention to your posts from then on. The other way to market yourself, and this one, again, you may be one of those people like me 15 to 20 years ago, probably even 10 years ago, that really cringed when they hear the word networking. And I had done a presentation once at a Chamber of Commerce lunch and learn, and I talked about how networking, everybody cringed and was scared of it. Let's talk about connecting. And it really is. It's about connecting, building relationships with other people. And I am an introvert. I have been shy in the past. I think I've gotten over a lot of that. But as that introvert, and that we need that time on our own to refuel and recharge, I think for me, it's been really finding a balance between those networking opportunities and then when I need to kind of pull back and not be immersed in that. And so networking for me, I have done both electronically through social media, and then I also put in those opportunities. I don't think you can completely pull away from any kind of in-person thing. I've also done the conferences, the events, and I'm not loading my calendar with those because I know that to me would be exhausting and not the right path to take. I need that time to refuel. But is there an opportunity even once a month or once a quarter to go out and network in person and meet new people, meet other people that are interested in the same types of things that you are, and build those relationships, nurture those relationships with those individuals. So not just meeting people, great to meet you, great to talk to you, and then bye. But even after those, a lot of times I'll connect with people on LinkedIn. And even just recently, somebody I had met a couple years ago reached out, had seen my post on LinkedIn, remembered meeting with me, and we are scheduled to talk a little bit more. So you never know when somebody could use that insight, that information. You can learn so much from other people, and just building those relationships is so important. And that's a great way to market yourself and get your name out there, get exposure to others, all levels of different organizations. And a lot of times, associations or industry gatherings, conferences, things like that are typically the place that I have found the most success in being able to market and myself and get to know people. So it's not just about marketing yourself, but so much more than that. So I hope that these tips and tricks have been helpful for you, and you can think about even just one takeaway that you can do to market yourself a little bit more. If you have not shared anything, especially on social media, I think that can be the easiest thing. Don't be a lurker just watching others' posts, but put something out there and share that with other people. People love to celebrate. They love to engage in conversation. There's even healthy debate, and just helping others to learn and grow, because if you're listening to this, you love that just as much as I do, and others that are listening, and so many others that may not be listening. So share that expertise and that knowledge with other people and see where it leads you. With that, I thank you for listening, and I will catch you on the next episode.